everybody, it's Mandy at Laugh and Grackle. As you can tell, I am back in the truck, and that for the ones that haven't heard about what's going on, that my dad had passed away from fluid on his heart and lungs, and sorry, I'm having issues with the sun today. But yeah, he had, prior to him going in this time, 2 weeks prior to that, he ended up having a procedure to take the fluid off of his lungs and heart, and he seemed to be doing okay. Well, 2 weeks later, he ended up going into the hospital for it again. He had been, he was unconscious whenever he was brought in, so he never really, what you so-called, woke up. And that, so that gives you an idea about, what's been going on with me. And I am planning on trying to start up the reads again to tomorrow. So hopefully you guys can come back and get tuned in then. And there was a couple different things that had happened, which was uncanny, to say the least. First off, whenever he was still in the hospital, everybody had decided, we need to go eat something. And I said, I'll go ahead and just stay here, because my sister had been just constantly there in the room with him. And, well, 2 times I sat there and told him, it's okay if you want to go ahead and go. Because, I said, it'll be rough, but, we'll be okay. And the first time, he gave me a huff. Like, no, you sit there and told me I'm not doing it. I'm not leaving yet. Which is totally dad. Then the second time I told him that, it was right before we left. And, I said, it's okay to go. And, you better give me a sign. Well, and also to say hi to my mom and Richard, which is a family friend of ours that had passed a very long time ago, and who came to visit him at least twice that I know of. And, well, whenever I got to my sister's house that night, my niece ended up cleaning off her bed because she was still staying at the hospital. And, she cleaned off everything, made the bed, the whole 9 yards. And, I go in there, get my stuff settled. I pull back the covers. I put the heating pad down. I go off to use the bathroom, and I come back. There's a remote control sitting on the bed, in the middle of the bed. And my dad was notorious for losing the remotes. So, yeah. And, I put it up on her dresser and went to bed. Of course, fitful sleep, of course. And, well, I wake up the next day with 2 songs stuck in my head. One was Fun House by Pink, and then second one was Dog Days Are Over. And, I listened to the first one. In the middle of the second one, my sister calls me and tells me that my dad has passed. And I sit there and it's like, I'll be damned. He sit there and he sent me a celebratory song. And it's like, woohoo, I'm out of the home, kind of thing, because he had, pretty much the whole time he's been there, he's been saying, I don't know which one of you guys are going to take me, but I'm getting out of here. So, yeah. Then, after we get done, doing what we needed to do, I went back to her house and I got to talking with a friend of mine on the phone. And, well, I see this something dash underneath the bushes, and I'm like, I'm looking around, can't find out what it was. So I go back and I sit down and start talking to him again. Well, this next thing I know, this little chipmunk has come out from behind their garbage can, locked eyes with me, and then turned around and ran back into the bushes. I looked up, that meaning, and it was saying that you're in tune with your intuition. So I sit there and I was like, okay, Dad is trying to let me know. And we ended up going out with my cousin Timmy, and whenever we got back, that me and him have ran out to get some packages that I had at a lockbox. Well, we get back and I put everything down and I'm like, oh, forgot my water. So I sat there and I stuck my phone on the table. Mind you, my cousin and my niece are sitting about 10 feet away from this phone. I sit there, I go out, I get my water, I come back, and I see my screen lit up. And I go over there and I look. It was my dad's phone number. And the thing about it is, this just didn't happen once. This happened twice in totally different situations. And it's like, okay, I asked for one sign, not 5, Dad. So, it was a guarantee that he was trying to get in touch with me again. Just to let me know.
It took him dying to figure out how to use a damn smartphone.
Yeah, he wasn't real good at that, but they don't need fingers or anything like that to do it. But yeah, we had a really good time. We laughed at memories, looking through old photographs to put up for the funeral, all this stuff. And well, we kind of made a little surprise for everybody at the end. But we ended up having 3 songs. A song from Charley Pride and Ray Charles, and then we had another song, Yickety Yak, for the closing. Everybody laughed at that because my dad was known as the troublemaker, and he really was a handful and a half all his life. So I just wanted to basically come on here, let you guys know what had happened, and have a little bit more context on everything, and how he tried to get in touch with me, because I thought that was really funny. So I will be having readings tomorrow, so come on back and see me, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for waiting.